Hickok 45 here. We're just celebrating a big victory for the American military that occurred yesterday on May the 1st. You might have heard about that. Yeah, figured you did. Well, yes, we're back from Pittsburgh, NRA Convention, and thought we'd bring you a little bit from it, a little flavor, excuse me, a little flavor perhaps from the convention. And you know, I had some people wondering what happened to my little quote-unquote radio show this week, and of course I was out of town. But actually, did a little bit of a radio show. As you know, I've tried to make you aware. Before it aired with the Tom Gresham show. I was interviewed by Tom Gresham, the god of gun talk radio, gun talk TV, and all that. So I was really pleased to be able to do that, and flattered that he invited me to chat with him for about 15 minutes. So that was a lot of fun. I've never done that before in an actual radio station, so to speak, even though it was set up there in the convention. So that was a lot of fun. I've seen him, there set up interviewing people before at other conventions, so it's kind of neat. But anyway, we had a good time. As I told you last year, it's a great place to go look at firearms and prowl around. All the manufacturers are there. A lot of the booths are, as big as your house, literally, and still, all the rooms and areas of firearms, you almost can't get to them. It's so crowded. There's so many people there. But they take the firing pins out of all of them so you can handle everything there. Wonderful, wonderful, if you can get to it, right? But anyway, we had a good time, and met some interesting people, saw some celebrities, and just in general enjoyed it. So we want to bring you primarily the interview. So you will have the radio show this week, a different sort of format. Tom Gresham was gracious enough to not mind us filming it, and so he has no problem with that. It was some of the on-air and off-air, and you may have heard the podcast already. It is at guntalk.com, the podcast. They're archived there forever, I guess, any of the radio shows. So this was from May the 1st. His May 1st show, we actually recorded on the 30th of April, that Saturday. So, but anyway, hope you kind of enjoy it. We'll give you a couple scenes from around the convention hall and whatnot, and maybe get a look at Pittsburgh. So, take a look. Hickok 45 here. We are in Pittsburgh on April 30th at the NRA Convention. We just got here, just parked. As you can see behind me, it's really Pittsburgh, and we've been seeing a lot of brethren walking around the street heading into the convention center, so we're anxious to get in there ourselves. This is kind of a firearms nut mecca, I guess you could say, where every manufacturer is here displaying all their firearms, pick them up, play with them, firing pins are out of them. It's wonderful. So we're glad to be in Pittsburgh and see a lot of folks like us, like me, like you, right? So we'll give you a tour. Here you see a little more of Pittsburgh. Again, we just got here. I was thinking a couple of gongs there on that bridge would be nice, wouldn't it? That's about half a mile maybe, or a mile. That'd be a stretch. Anyway, beautiful city, beautiful city. We're looking forward to it.
You might want to come to Glock here. Oh yeah? Did you see us here? You don't know who's here right now.
Truck 45.
Hey man.
How's it going?
Hey.
I watch your videos every time they come out on YouTube.
Thank you.
They're great. I mean, this
You can't do it. He didn't do it as mayor, he just did it, nobody, he got away with it. This works for him.
He's the mayor.
Right. But we can't do it. So this month we appear in May in Times Square.
Times Square.
Where the word is Reuters news wires that's posting the news stories.
Right.
A big electronic billboard above it.
Yeah.
It's going to have our signs on our truck for 2,191 people every day who's going to self-defense. Gun saves lives.
In Times Square.
In Times Square, New York. We're just going to love it. It's a mayor, you're going to have to look at it and watch it all month.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, you know what's going to happen. The media is going to harangue and hate that, and they're just going to have a field day trying to beat up on it.
Yeah, well, because this goes with you, we just filed suit. Also, the foundation just filed suit against Bloomberg in New York City because they charge $240 on top of about a $90 background check, fingerprint fee, to be able to get a permit to own a gun for self-defense in your own home. New York City, New York State permit, New York City can grandfather to charge whatever they want. Every place else in the state basically charges $20. And so we're assuming for the equal protection that people in New York State aren't treated equally.
It was just something missing.
Lots of cool stuff to see here.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
It is. It's fun. It's just the fact that they do it the way they do it by taking the firing pins out, so you can actually. Of course, you still feel weird, don't you, snapping?
Well, and they'll say, and I'm sure you're like me. I'm careful with the muzzle and all that. And then you got some of these folks who just,
I know.
Please don't do that.
It's like toys.
It's almost impossible to be entirely safe. You got people all around you and
Yeah.
trying to pick up a
I'm
rifle.
working
And,
muzzles here and then
Me too.
here,
I'm pointing up the ceiling.
yeah,
And other people looking at you like you're weird. Why are you pointing at the ceiling?
yeah.
Point at that guy's head.
Yeah, you go, and then you get the old, well, it's not loaded. Yeah, but that's really not the point here.
Yeah.
We do the same thing no matter what.
Jeff Cooper would not agree.
That's right. All guns are always loaded. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think I saw you walk by. Now this will air tomorrow.
This will air tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes.
regular.
Yep. Yeah, so they call it live to tape, although it's all digital.
We got some better cameras, and we just sort of felt
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, better. I don't have much to tell you. I don't know much. I don't want to use it before you start.
We're gonna have a bunch of fun. That's right.
He's going to ambush me.
No.
Don't make me think.
This is friendly interviews. Let me see if I got it.
Valet park, you name it.
So you want
And you get free tacos.
pleasure to see you. Face to face. We're just together at Franklin.
Yeah, neighbor.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Cool. That work, Mike? That was up. Excellent.
We're not shooting, we're doing TV. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
There will be interruptions in the middle of all this, and it's different.
Oh man, I don't know how you do all that. You have people do all the editing. You don't have to do all the
I don't do the
hands-on
editing.
because-
When I first started, I said, well, I'll just learn how to do that. And I looked at it and said, there are guys who are 25 or 30 years old who've been doing it for 10 or 15 years.
I love it.
It doesn't make any sense for me to try to learn all of that. I'll do what I do and then let them do what they do. It's amazing how people will say things that you said that you never said.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get that. They say, well, on the radio you said such and such.
Don't
Well,
remember
maybe
that.
I did. And I go back and listen. And go, no, I didn't think I said that.
Yeah.
Gotta go back and check. Because, of course, when you're doing it like this,
Yeah, that's right.
whatever comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth.
Well, no. Is Ryan here? Your son?
He ran out to actually do some work.
Yeah.
Go ahead and saddle up, put
Right.
that on. Since our Smith and Wesson guy in here, we'll just do this.
So it's
I'm gonna turn your mic up for you now.
ready to go.
Talk,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
talk to me.
Oh yeah.
I got you.
Should I watch me? I'll talk to you loud. We don't have all this sophisticated gear. Is that about right?
Yeah, you're good.
It's okay.
That's good.
Okay. Hope I don't sound too stupid.
More than me.
I gotta pay attention. I'm not used to everything.
Just about to go on. Oh yeah, having fun today in the middle of this enormous. In fact, you just can't believe it. If you're not here, you can't believe how big this thing is. If you're not here, shame on you, but maybe you can go next year. It's going to be in St. Louis. It's the NRA annual meetings. We just call it the NRA show. The exhibit hall is what's the fun part, frankly, because it's where all the gun manufacturers are, ammo, everything else. And right now we are joined by a fellow I've been looking forward to meeting. He just walked in, met him for the first time. We swapped emails. Greg, I appreciate you being here. Greg Hickok 45 on YouTube, right?
Right, Hickok 45.
Hickok 45, and an absolute YouTube sensation with your shooting. How do you describe it? When you're trying to tell people what you do with your videos, how do you describe it?
We really haven't figured it out yet. And we just started, taping, recording what we normally do. I've been a shooter for a long time. I have a place and a range, and John, my son, talked me into putting some of it on YouTube. He knew more about YouTube than I did, and he said, "There's nothing out there much. It's just silliness." This was a couple of years ago.
A lot of people doing stupid or dumb things.
That's true. Doing even stupider things than I do. We try not to do anything.
Well, you don't do
safe.
dangerous things.
Right. Yeah, by stupid, I think it's goofy. But so that's kind of how it got started. And what we do, we sort of do gun reviews, but we don't even like to call them that. The manufacturers that we review seem to like it, but we just show how fun it is to shoot.
You get a gun, you shoot it, you have some fun with it, and you're doing some barrel stretching. How long is your range there?
We can get out to 230 yards safely.
And you got a bunch of steel set up out there.
Sure.
So and you are located in Tennessee.
Yes, just not too far out of Nashville.
Okay. Tell me about your background in shooting. How did you get started? You started as a kid?
Yes. We lived on a farm part of my childhood, and my dad was not a gun nut like some of us are, but he had guns, and so we read about 22, just clinking, lower 40 and that sort of thing. Carry a pistol around and shoot it when I was even 11 years old. So I got started early, and I loved it. And as soon as I got out of college, I was so busy about finding a place to shoot and buy the guns I wanted. Get a big I wanted a big caliber gun. I wanted something at 45, Colt.
Okay, so what'd you end up with?
Well, my first centerfire handgun was a 45 caliber Colt. It was a Ruger. It was so funny. I was so naive. I didn't know what a Ruger was. I thought I was going to walk into a gun shop with $150 and buy a Colt 45. And the guy confused me. He started talking about, "What do you want, a Ruger?" Well, I don't have a Colt. I said, "What?" I thought Colt 45 was Colt. Anyway, I was naive, like a lot of people are now. I would ask you and me questions daily. But so then it just went from there. I got into this competition, long-range silhouette shooting. Thought that was fun with 44 mag, 29, and then did some IPSC in the late 80s and early 90s, IDPA, cowboy action shooting, and done a fair amount of all of that, but not extensively, enough to learn, and practiced a lot. I like to shoot.
Well, clearly you're a good shot.
Well, there are a lot of people better.
There's always somebody better, but you are a good shot.
Well, I did teach Rob Latham most of what he knows. People don't like to hear that, and he doesn't like me to tell that story, but I taught him most of what he
You
knows.
told me not to let you tell that story, so there you go. Now, one of the things that, last year in October, you started getting national coverage for your video of carving a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern, by shooting. So what gun did you use, and how did that come about?
Well, it was a Glock 23 this year. We just do that kind. I've always done that kind of thing, so it wasn't anything new. We did it the year before on video. They called it pumpkin carving, I think. I don't know. And then this year we call it pumpkin carving.
But everybody, like CNN, everybody else was picking up on this.
Yeah, Fox News. It was all over the blogs, Washington Post blog, all places. And Jay Leno, he showed it. So
no kidding.
It was just interesting, kind of surprised.
So how many views are you getting?
It varies. That one, I don't know where it is, 700,000. It'll get a million eventually, but we typically will get, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 first day or two on a big video, maybe, and then they'll go on it from there. They just percolate along.
How do you get your ideas of what you're going to do?
Comes from the guns largely, especially originally. We just got to doing that. I've always been, not always, but I've been a Glock guy since the 80s. But I like the 1911, I like everything. 22s, there's nothing I don't like if it's a fun shooter. So we just started doing videos with different guns. And
You just did one on the new Ruger 1911.
yeah, we did. Yeah, we sure did. And that's a nice gun. We
Oh,
enjoyed
it
that.
is. Yeah.
So I love a 1911. I did a lot of competition with 1911, and yeah, we're on the T&E list with Ruger, and we really appreciate getting that thing fairly early. And, we're going to do some more videos with it. Yeah, we do videos with all sorts of firearms, and then we just you asked me how we get our ideas. Basically, we're trying to educate too. We're trying to have fun, amuse a little bit, and then educate with various types of guns. Like this is a Block 21, for example. Here's the caliber. Here's where it fits. Or here's a Ruger SR9. C. Here's where this gun fits in the scheme of things with Ruger. We did the LC9 recently, and the LCP, and we've done some Springfields, and we've done a lot of things. Desert Eagle, we do
So if
everything.
people want to see these various guns shot and hear your comments about it, they can just go on YouTube and they do search for Hickok 45.
Yes,
You got your own channel there.
right. They can search Hickok 45 or just put in Glock, and our videos pop up in the first few, or car. We do a lot of those. Kind of take them apart sometimes and just show them enough about it. I don't do a lot as detailed as some other people do. I just show them the essentials, let them go somewhere else if they don't know how much the magazine weighs. And generally go to their website. And I show them the essentials and then turn around and we'll shoot it and have some fun with it and give my impressions.
Hey, Greg, can you hold on just a second? We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back.
Thank you.
We are talking with Hickok 45, and we were live to tape, as we like to say, at the NRA annual meetings in Pittsburgh. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
How long have you been doing this now?
How long do you think
About
we've been doing
20 years?
Oh, this thing was 16 years.
16.
Yeah, 16 years. Yeah, it's just fun. It's like what you do. We just talk about guns. What a fun deal,
You got it.
It was, this was a while, who got me into this? Alan got me. We were at SHOT Show, and I walked up to him, and I'd known Alan. I said, Alan, we ought to do something together. I said, well, I don't know. It's just, you ever been on radio? I said, no, I've done some TV. I kind of like that. You ought to think about doing radio. I said, I don't know anything about it. I said, what he didn't tell me was he owned a radio network, which made it a lot easier to get on, I can tell you. And that was at a cocktail party that night. The next morning I went out on the floor and talked to a few people, and they all said, yeah, we like to talk radio about guns. Nobody's ever done anything like that. I said, we'll be a sponsor. I said, well, I don't have a show. I said, what does that matter? I said, I don't have any rates. They said, doesn't matter, we'll be there. I think I better do this thing. So that was it. It's a fun thing.
Oh, it is. We do this thing we call, it's just an idea, we call it the radio show. So once a week, I go out to the bar at 7:30 in my reloading room, and I do about 30, 40 minutes just chatting about various things, guns I've owned, stuff like that. And the loyal fans, I call it the radio show.
Okay.
I don't even shoot. I just call it the radio
No, but you shoot video of that. So you put up the video of
We
that?
don't. We just put a picture of it. How
Just
crazy
have a
is this?
digital recorder.
And he'll get 10,000 views a week. Just listens or whatever you're going to call it. And I kind of enjoy that. And that's,
Oh, it is.
I'm talking about a particular gun. I feel like Tom Gresham. So I'm like Tom Gresham wanted for Saturday morning.
It's, of course, the downside of it is it also means you're roped in to be there.
Oh, yeah. We discovered that. We're missing this week.
And people don't like
I'll
it.
blame it on you.
Yeah, right, there you go.
Well, they'll listen. That's good. I'm trying to tell them I'll be honest.
Well, it's fun. I like being able to do this in the middle of this and just have people come in from the booths. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, say hi. Yeah, man. Got 45. I do a lot of videos. I live in just north of Nashville. I order get shooting. Just interviews on Tom Gresham. I ask him why he went on.
And Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk, and we're visiting with Greg Hickok 45 on YouTube. The guy's got all the cool videos from carving pumpkins to shooting. Sometimes you shoot some stuff pretty far out there with handguns. People say you can't. You know, how many times have you heard this? Well, you can't hit anything very far with a handgun, right?
Right.
Well, except that yes, you can. If you have a good gun and you know what you're doing, and frankly, you're a good shot. It's amazing how far you can hit things.
It is. I learned that about 20, 30 years ago. I was doing some competition with a club in Columbia, Tennessee, and they had a required part of it using a snub-nosed 38, like Chief Special, Mile 36.
Little 2-inch barrel.
Yeah, and I had never really shot those, and they had some of them, and they just handed them out, you know. So we'd shoot one of the stages with it, and I was surprised. And I kind of went from there, and I've always liked the small snubbies, and I like the Glock 26, 27, I like the little guns, and I use some of those in those long-range videos, and that's one of the ways we got started doing this. One of the things I've always liked to do is show people how accurate the little guns can be, because that's myth-busting to some extent, and so I go to the extreme with that, I guess, sometimes, you know, shooting the Glock 27, you know, at 230 yards, just for kicks, you know, shooting a big dong over there, and I love it, because, and I've got a video called Accuracy. I don't know if you've seen that, where I pull out what I use. I use an Ed Brown 1911, and I also use the old World War II, an actual GI 45, maybe something else. I forget what I do in these videos. I do so many of them, but it just demonstrates that they're both accurate enough, you know? Yep. Now one will maybe drive nails if you're interested in a ransom rest, but for practical accuracy, there's hardly a gun that's going to be not accurate enough for you. You shot a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it is. You know, well, the truth of it is, all the guns are more accurate than we are.
They're more accurate than we are.
And so, it's as they say, it's the nut behind the butt plate is the problem in most of this. And most of that, as I talk with really good shooters and work with them, it is trigger control.
Yes. It comes down to that. You can take it's the trigger. It is so much the trigger. You know that. When you pull one, you flinch or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You pull that thing back up, and if you really focus and think about that trigger break, it's got to break while the sights are on the target.
And people say, well, no, I'm not flinching. I say, well, I understand that you don't, it's not that you don't think, you actually believe you're not flinching. And it's that old deal of putting dummy rounds in, you mix them in with a magazine, or shooting, and when it goes click on the dummy round, all of a sudden it's guns pointing low and left. How did that happen?
That's right, that wasn't me.
Yeah, well, it wasn't anything else.
And that's one of the best tricks. I use that, I think I heard that from you first. I stole that from you.
Well, good.
My viewers and listeners think that I came up with it.
I stole it from somebody else. So we're all just, nobody invents this stuff. It's like, I saw in the paper today that some guy here on the floor has some kind of new device he's selling that allows you to sight in a rifle with only 2 shots. But we've been doing that for decades. You can sight in a rifle with only 2, actually 1 shot, but your second shot is just the verification. So you got to be able to sight in any rifle with 2 shots. And why do you need a device for that? But once you get, and I've been preaching that, but I got it from my dad. He got it from somebody else, and somebody else figured out how do you sight in a rifle with 2 shots.
I know you know more about that than I do. I as I tell my viewers, I'm not a rifleman as much as a pistolero.
Right.
But I'd have to probably learn more about that.
Now, Glocks. You're known as being a Glock guy. You shoot all the different Glocks. I've kind of been slow to get to the 10 millimeter, but really like the 10. Have you had much experience with that?
Yeah, fair amount. I had not. I was shooting in a GSSF match in one subcompact several years back, and so I got a gun to choose a gun. So I didn't have a 10. Well, I got all the other Glocks, so I just went ahead and said, give me a 10. The Glock 29, and I did, and it was pretty interesting. And later got a Glock 20, bigger gun, same caliber. I kind of enjoy it. I don't shoot it as much as other guns. I know I got your name on it.
Yeah, the 1911 10, yeah, and that turned out very nice. And,
do you like that?
I love it.
Shoot it much?
Yeah, it's, I thought the 10 was going to kick a lot more than it did, and it doesn't. If you got a nice, good, heavy gun with, now if you had it, now Glock actually has a baby Glock in 10. They've got a compact.
Yeah.
That will have to jump. I mean,
That's what I mean. That was the 29. That's my first one.
Yeah, the physics of it are that you're gonna.
It does, and it, you know, that's the one gun that will hurt my trigger finger a little bit after I shoot at 10 or 20
But the
times.
Glock 20 is the full size.
Yes.
And that's the one that everybody falls in love with.
That's a sweet gun. There's that long-haired guy with a ponytail that likes that gun.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Heard
of that guy.
Yeah, I used to be a crazy, even a more crazy.
What do you mean? You used to be crazy.
Yeah, crazier back in the
But
70s.
he's our kind of crazy.
Still kind of crazy. Yeah, he's gun crazy too.
Yeah, he loves the 10. He's got a
Yeah,
bunch of them.
he does. And he shoots them a lot, and hunts with them and everything.
Yeah.
But I shoot it not as much as like he does, but it's a great cartridge. You know, it has its place just on the range and blinking around. I tend not to use that much power.
No, we don't need it. But if I was going to carry an autoloader for protection against hogs, for instance, or bear, it tend to be a good choice for that.
Mountain hiking,
Yeah.
it's hard to beat that. I tell you what, 10 millimeter can do a lot worse than that.
Yeah. Come on in, Paul. Come sit down over here.
I got
And Paul Pluff from Smith & Wesson joins. You know what? I want to introduce you guys on the air here. Paul, Greg Hickok 45.
You got mine. You keep touching it because this thing is there. I'll make it.
I'll see you again. Anyway, good to meet y'all. I caught some of you on here. Good shot.
Good to meet
Who
you. Paul.
does all the great videos on YouTube. How you doing, partner?
Good, good.
We're going to turn your mic up there and let you yak a little bit. See if you can make that thing work for you. Oh, that's loud. Oh my goodness. You know what? If you take that thing off and swip it around, and there you go. There you go. I think we're checked out on the equipment now. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn your mic back up there. All right, Paul Pluff from Smith & Wesson joining us here. We're just talking about shooting handguns and having fun. And I don't know if you've seen any of Greg's videos called Hickok 45 on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. It's pretty good.
Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So your booth is just swamped, which is why you can't get here on time,
Well,
right?
you wouldn't believe what I went through just to break through the crowd.
I know. I was just out there.
I can believe it. So what's the hot thing from Smith & Wesson right now? What are you showing me?
Well, believe it or not, that I mean, obviously we still got just a huge interest in our bodyguard line with the integral lasers.
Right.
What seems to be hot right now, that we're picking up and looking at, is our new governor, which is the revolver with the 410.
45, 410?
45 410, and it's kind of unique because it's just not a 45 Colt. It shoots the 410, 45 Colt, and a 45 ACP, and that has piqued a lot of interest.
Oh, that's a lot of versatility in one revolver.
Yeah, it is. And it's pretty slick setup with the gun because it gives you a lot of versatility with the fact that it comes with a moon clip that you can put either 6 rounds of 45 ACP, or it also comes with moon clips that only hold 2 rounds. So if you want to have all 3 calibers in the gun at the same time, you can.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds pretty neat. I'm going to say that. I haven't gotten through that gun yet. I want to see that before we leave.
So you have 2 rounds of 45 ACP, 2 rounds of 45 Colt, and 2 rounds of 410 shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a variety to have some fun, you know.
I know people who would do that kind of a mix-up for their home defense deal. I always say, well, that's because you can't make up your mind.
That's right. That's right. You know, and as I get older, I get confused easy, so that way I just do something confused.
That's right. So what do you
Check a
have?
little bit of everything.
So what do you have in there? Everything?
Everything.
Everything.
When they asked the question, I said, I don't know, what do you want?
Yeah, that's right. It's all in there. It's pretty simple here. So what else is cooking over there?
You know, the popularity of handguns in general, we're starting to see, you know, the small compact revolvers. That is huge still. And still a lot of interest in the, you know, the sport rifles. They're still doing very well.
Yeah, the AR-15 platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys just have an incredible line of them. I mean, I know there are people who don't think of Smith & Wesson connected to ARs, but you've become a major manufacturer.
Oh, we have, and in one of our latest introductions, what we call our MP15 Sport. And basically what we decided to do, everybody wants one, but as you well know, that the prices vary, and it costs you anywhere from $900 on up to $2,500, $3,000. And we developed one that's got all the same bells and whistles of our standard one, but we have the ability to have the thing out at retail for right around $700 or less.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, it gives people some, you know, I kind of affectionately refer to it as the mil-spec, like 1911, the mil-spec of AR rifles, where it gives you your starting point to build up from there.
Right. So how's the interest in revolvers? Is it still, people still want revolvers?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, through the 80s and 90s, and everybody was transitioning to pistols, and starting to see a lot
a lot less interest in revolvers. What we're starting to see is revolvers are a big comeback. We have a wide variety of them over there. And as you walk through, if you can get through the crowd and look, you'll see a lot of people picking up revolvers, and there's a huge renewed interest there.
I know you like them.
Yeah, can I do your job for a minute?
Yeah,
For
do it,
Tom?
do it.
I was wondering, Paul, if y'all track demographics very closely on the revolver. You know, I get so many questions, communications from people of all ages on my channel, and I just wondered if what the demographics are showing on revolvers. It seems to me that more young people are beginning to, you know, whatever.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Now, if you'd asked me that question 10 years ago, you know, I would have told you that, you know, the revolver enthusiast was an aging demographic. It was getting older.
Old guys like Tom and
Yeah, and I'm unfortunately in that crowd with you. But you look at today, and you're absolutely right. All of a sudden, the younger shooter artists, and that's why I said there's a renewed interest. They're discovering revolvers. They're discovering the accuracy. They're discovering the reliability, and they like the fit and feel of them. The other thing, you know, from a demographic standpoint, you know, we're looking at the largest growing segment of our marketplace is women. And I'm amazed by the fact, maybe it's the simplicity of use of a revolver, that women are beginning to build towards that revolver.
yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. When I do a video on a revolver, whether it's a Python, I know that's brand X to you guys, but or anything, mostly it's a Smith. I get a lot of young people, I never had a revolver, but that is a sexy gun, you know?
Isn't that interesting? There was a generation where we thought, okay, revolvers are the old thing, you know, but now you've got a whole new generation that grew up with pistols, and they're looking at those going, hey, revolvers, there's an idea. What a cool concept.
And what's really amazing about it is, you know, as cool as the Simianos, and a lot of that had to do with the movies making them cool, as cool as it was, I think what was starting to happen is just the nature of the ergonomics. The kids are getting out there, they're starting to find that they can shoot them very accurately.
Guys, I got to run to a break. Greg, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Tom. I really enjoyed it.
Hickok 45 on YouTube.
We'll see you on YouTube.
Check out the videos there. And Paul, if you can stay with us, that'd be great. I'll be right back with more gun talk.
Well, I appreciate it, Tom.
Super job.
Yeah, I
it's a
enjoyed
real
it.
pleasure to meet you.
We just turn on the camera at home, same thing.
There you go.
So you saw how Tom Gresham operates. That's pretty interesting. He's a pro. He's really good at that. You've seen him on TV, on the Versus channel, and probably heard him on the radio. I listen to him every week, have been for years, probably 10 years. But he's a real pro and good at what he does, and a great fella. So you saw some the stars that we got to meet some of them. We got to just see some of them. Ermy again, of course, Ted Nugent. Got to meet Chris Reed, chat with him a little bit. Winner of Top Shot this year, and saw Ian, who won last year, was there too. Who else did we see? Just met a lot of nice people. A lot of you. How could I forget? We met a lot of you, of course, at every turn. It seemed like that was really neat. That was almost the best part. Kind of interesting. Got to talk to the president, owner of Firearms, Justin Moon. It was pretty neat. He chatted with me about some of the differences in guns and that kind of thing. I've enjoyed that. Maybe communicate with him a little more. Well, anyway, I don't want to rattle on. We just had a great time, and it was fun. You got to go to one. It's in St. Louis next year. You got to go to one of these. That's all there is to it. Plan now and get there. So I'm busy celebrating still, as I said. I'll take some more shots.